Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community. How's everyone doing? I thought um, I'd do a video today since we're in the Marius event right now, and I know I did put out a Marius guide showing like stage 34 or something, and stage 30 on account have that didn't use any limited hero. I thought maybe it's a good opportunity to just quickly update and showcase this team. Yes, there are three mythics in it, but the nice thing about having three mythics and a Catherine is everybody can eventually get to this point. And this team is not only effective in Marius, it's pretty decent in most other dungeons. Um, this is the exact same team that can be used on Nagia for stage, I think, all the way I think it can go up to 35 even on this part, just using this particular lineup here. And what we'll be doing today is just quickly go over the stats, some of the gearing considerations in general when you're using Nordak with DPS, what's most effective. Uh, the only one that you kind of have to pull for in the setup is Mamook. Um, Other than that, really, it's guaranteed obtainable. So as long as you just work at the game, um, everything is, it's perfectly free to play friendly here. So let's take a quick look at the stat distribution. Um, or you can kind of see the aura at the bottom already. So advanced hit, aura on Nita, Grandmaster hit on Nurid, recovery aura on Catherine. You could put combat vanguard aura on Mamook. It's actually a really good choice. I'm thinking of putting one on him as soon as I have enough uh, aura stones for it. There's the double runestone event on right now, so make sure you do farm all 100 of them this week. And Nordak in dungeons is best to use the Dormant Ruins for the extra HP. So you can see with this particular team here, and I explained in my other video, so if you haven't seen my Marius guide, I talk about, Mamook and how he's really good for the setup because at this key point, he's about to remove the debuff, which is very important. The other thing about this team is because you're not using Santa, it's extremely reliable because you're not going to be messing up turns. You're not relying on freeze to prevent yourself from getting killed. You're truly doing the classic tank and spank. Speed wise, what I have noticed is running a fast Nordak is really good. Now, that means you can cycle onto the ultimate much more frequently. And to keep your DPS protected, actually running them a little bit slower is not a bad idea. So here is actually because Nira got the speed up. Otherwise, she's around the same speed, around 1800 or a little bit lower. So I would recommend you try to get Nordak to be maybe 1.5 times faster than your DPS. And that's super helpful because that means your DPS will always have a shield on, and 2 out of the 3 turns it will have the damage immunity up, which drastically increases their survivability. For Catherine, you want Catherine to be paired on the same speed as Nordak, just slightly faster. So you can see my Catherine. Well, it's a little bit, too fast here, but so that means I could redistribute some stats to HP and healing. But you do want your Catherine to be slightly faster than Nordak. The intention is, any sort of encounters where, Nordak, for example, has some sort of debuff, or you can clean it with Catherine, and then Nordak will be able to continuously putting on shield and the ultimate, and then your DPS just go ham on their skills. Um, Ideally, they again, it's by being slower you can observe it here. They pretty much always have their buff on. Same with the consolidation and counterattack. They will have it on majority of their turns because of this uh, disparity in speed. So this is something you want to consider in setting up. Don't try to put them all on the same speed. Your supporting hero really you should try to get them really fast. Same with Mamook actually. Mamook in Marius, try to give him a little bit more speed. He has the speed buff up right now because Nordak Normally he wouldn't, but because Nordak can pass the buffs back, he's getting speed up as well. Um, my Mamook is around 2400, so that allows me to just tank very effectively. Um, and to be able to cycle the skills. The key thing is you want Mamook to move before Marius so he can get the taunt up and eat these really lethal, deadly um, second skill here. So as soon as this wave is finished, we will take a look. Um, we'll take a look at um, we'll take a look at how the skills the turns are set up each round. Um, just to put things into perspective, I know a lot of people always want to make sure they can see the gear and stats so they can compare. So I'll quickly do that in the background. Sanctuary, it's around here, a little bit over 11K. Um, these specific heroes, so Nita. Okay, so I'll pause so people can see the stats. Here's the stat on Nita. Here and here's the Echo. So nothing too crazy. Nordak. Here's the Echo. Um, and here are their stats. Um, let me show the gear as well because people keep asking these questions in comments. So not too crazy. Even still using some 5 stars in there because I do need the effective hit for PvP. Nordak's a little bit better off gear wise. Catherine, uh, I was using her in PvP. That explains the speed there. Don't really need her that fast. But here you go. Here's Catherine, and I think the last one was Nerid. Uh, Nerid is here, so that's the gear. Here's the stats. Nothing, too crazy. And Mamook. Here are the gear. Here is the stat. If you didn't catch that, I hope you paused it. I'm missing the Mamook echo. He doesn't have echo on him, so that's completed. So now let me show you the um, the particular setup. Um, and I'll kind of explain why we set it up this way. I think we'll give 33 a try in the next wave just to see what will happen. But the idea here, and you do need to do a little bit of tweaking as well. Um, for 33, I might want to turn on the skill here for Nita. I think we'll give 33 a try to see if this can beat it. But the idea is you're really tanking and spanking, so you want to just use Holy Shelter and use counter attack here. The reason why I left Solid Guardian open is because it'll help with the skill cycling, so I can get my skill back. The counter attack will allow you to clean the first wave, taking advantage of the fact that enemy will AoE you fully on the first round. You really need to just use all of your skills here um, to kill the enemy. I'm trying to save my Deepwater Phantom so that she can start with Deepwater Phantom again. This should be able to clean kill the enemy now. On the second wave, you want to taunt up. The reason why you want to taunt up is again to get all of the Melias to focus Mamook to prevent Nita or Nira from dying once the Holy Shelter falls off. Again, you should be able to have High Spirited up so you're able to counter attack and kill the Hez relatively quickly because they're AoEing you. And again, the benefit of not having to deal with freeze is consistency. And finally, on the last one, you want to start with taunt and strip. This allows you to have the most amount of uptime with your taunts. Um, Nordak, I think ideally you should kind of open with this. And even, I mean, yeah, I think we should prioritize it this way for the most part. That's what the default does anyways. Nordak is not going to get killed. You want Holy Shelter up as often as you can though. Um, Catherine, same thing. You want to get that high spirited up first. Usually getting solid guardian allows you to put high spirit up. Um, like you can actually set it up this way. That technically should be, but you get the same results. So Nita again, prioritize Berry, and prioritize it in this way for Nerid. Let's give 33 a try on live. I mean, I cleared it using a different team for 33, but let's give 33 just a try to see if this, non-limited hero, will pass it. I was using, limited heroes when I cleared it, but there's a lot of synergy by using Catherine in this setup that you won't get with Santa. One is Mamook's counterattack will be able to now hit very consistently, leaving the attack down debuff on the enemy. Um, Nurid is going to be able to be in, the ocean wave status. Um, I think 4 out of the 5 turns when she cycles her skills. So counterattacks allow her to be putting in these cold and wet debuffs on the enemy, making them hit you a lot less, which is super important for the boss wave. So from a damage mitigation perspective, she could almost rival, Little Jack when you have a Catherine to be able to really use her auto attack a lot. So yeah, really good setup. Okay, see, you can see the counterattacks were very effective in getting rid of the enemy. Here we got Holy Shield up, we taunted, so you can see I'm eating the AoEs from Hez. It's not, the ones from Hez is not dangerous because it's HP burn and it's based off your own HP. You're capped at that 8% loss. That's not the scary part. The scary part is the Milia direct damage that can completely one-shot your Nita or your Nurid if they decide to target them. So this is where, having Mamook, being able to tank these and eat all of the focus damage from there is key. And here now we got the skills up, and all of these counterattack is also applying Horrify, and all of these debuffs allow you to potentially, not have the enemy do those moves. Okay, so now we're on the final boss wave, and you can see we got the taunt up to eat the big nuke at the beginning. We're going to, yes, the first one's a waste, but the key is to get her into the ocean status wave. And then after you strip, um, the next time, um, when that counterattack happens, so on the next auto attack, we should be able to now put those debuff on the enemy. Yep. So this seems to be getting dangerous because, Nuna is still alive, but we are getting the debuffs on the enemy. So there's now the code. And on wet debuff, um, hopefully we get to strip that with Mamook very soon. If not, we could be in a little bit of a pickle. Okay, good. So you can see it's relatively consistent. If you're paying attention to the amount of buffs that are on Nita and Nerid, you are well protected. So we're doing 33, and we have the key debuffs we need on the enemy, the attack down. It is a very slow team, by the way. I mean, ideally, you use Hezonja instead of Nita, and I think that will make things a lot faster. If we count the total number of debuffs we have here, right? So we got drowned, cold and wet. You can put a bleed debuff by using the echo on the that gives the enemy a bleed. Then you plus 5 layers of HP burn. You're going to be close to that 15, if not exactly at 15, um, to fully benefit from Nereid's debuff. I don't have Hezonja built on this account. Um, and not everybody, let's just say, can, have the time to, finish the new player event within 5 days. Oh no, Catherine died. Okay, so I think it's more of a DPS issue. We are taking a lot of turns here. Let's see if we can finish without a Catherine. It'll be tricky. Um, yeah, we're getting to a point where the boss is just doing too much damage. But you can see the team works really well to a point where, the boss is just doing too much damage to you. Um, so 32 is probably where I'm going to be at, but mechanically, this kind of explains how it works. And I know Hez is going to do way more damage than Nita on on the boss. So if you have a Hez, I think you won't have the same type of DPS issue that I'm struggling from by taking too many of these turns. So yeah, so there you go. A purely no limited hero team that's going to help you, clear high level game content. Hope you enjoyed it. Gandalf out.